What's up, everybody? It's Couz. Couz's Corner. I'm here live. Halftime reactions to WVU TCU. I'm going to be with Sam the Man from the Mountaineer Effect. We'll bring him on. What's up, Sam?
What's going on, buddy? What do you think of this game so far?
Man, 2017, I'm okay. I'm still nervous, obviously, but I'm nervous till the final whistle. So
I'll take it. You know, it seems like they've made some good adjustments in the bye week. The play calling, you know, other than that first third down drive has been pretty good. Letty Brown's playing pretty good. All in all, I'm pretty happy myself.
Me too, man. I like how they're feeding Letty the ball more this game. I think that's what they needed to do to exploit that weak TCU defense.
Yeah,
and they're running plays that Daggy can run. They're not trying to. And I tell you, I was impressed. That's a play he made where he scrambled outside the pocket and made a throw. Man, I about fell out of my seat. He awesome.
Runs like a broke leg jackrabbit.
Every time he runs, I get scared. I'm like, oh, he's going to get sacked.
Reminds me of like Peyton Manning, man. He runs like a wounded gazelle.
Yeah, I know. But if he only had Peyton Manning's arm, I think I'd excuse it.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I'm happy. The biggest improvement that I'm seeing, and you'll probably agree, is the O-line. They're looking pretty good. They're giving him time to pass, and they're opening up the holes.
I agree with that. They look good. I think they I don't know what they worked on, or if they're just manning up this game, you know, tired of getting beat. I don't know what it is. Or maybe that's just a good matchup for them.
I think some of their scheming is a little different. The way they're blocking things, I've kind of noticed that a little bit. I think they come into this game knowing they were going to have to open some holes and run the ball, and I think they probably spent a lot of 2 weeks working on just that.
Yeah,
and I think it's really showing. You know, I look for the second half to be more of the same of what we saw in the first half. We just, you know, we need to start finishing these drives.
I agree. I mean, it should be what 24 or 28.
28.
Yeah. It should be 28-20 right now, really, or 17 rather. So yeah, we're leaving. We can't with TCU's offense, man. I mean, you see that Quentin Johnston guy. He's almost uncoverable. I mean, he's just good.
Yeah, he reminds me a lot like Calvin Johnson. You know, you just throw it up and let him go get it, and he's almost impossible to cover. You know, if they can not give up the deep plays, and I feel like, you know, they've given up big plays, but they haven't given up like any real big deep plays yet. I'm pretty happy with that. You know, I think if the D-backs can just keep doing what they're doing, if West Virginia can close out these drives in the second half, I think we're going to have a good day. I think, you know, adjustment-wise, Neil Brown makes good adjustments at halftime, and I expect more of the same. So, yeah, we'll just have to see how it plays out.
I agree. I got a couple comments here. Brandon Bailey, first of all, says, decent play first half on offense. Defense still a little shaky. I agree. But I think the only thing I see shaky on the defense really is like we were talking about that wide receiver. He just they're just going to figure out a way to try to contain him. Tim Oliver, O-line got to eat some oatmeal cream pies or fudge rounds, Tim.
Go oatmeal cream pie.
Brandon Bailey, yes, O-line has played much better, which has given Daggy time to make his throws. I agree.
He's looked really comfortable in the pocket, like more so than normal. And he's even stepped up into the pocket a couple times, which is something that, you know, I'm golf clapping on the couch every time I see him do that.
Yep. I've heard Golden Blue do talk about that a lot too, how he gets it. He said he will not step up in the pocket.
Yeah, you know, he's done it a little bit here and there. He's been real shoddy on when he picks to do it. You know, I think he's finally realized, you know, that getting hit's not the worst thing in the world, and then if he'll just step up, he can either take off and get a few yards, or it'll open up the field deep down the field. And, you know, I'm happy with what he's done. I liked the series where they brought Green in. I thought that was a really good change of pace. Even though Daggy was, you know, throwing the ball well, I think the only part that they messed up there was when they brought Green in and then took him back out after he made his big run. Like either leave him in and let him finish it out, or don't bring him in at all.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I just, when he's in there, it's so predictable, man. I mean, the defense knew exactly what they were going to do on every play except that one.
Yeah.
And they were just fine. I mean, like even when they tried to run that sweep, the defense knew it was coming.
Yeah.
They didn't even – they knew either half the guys focus on Garrett, half the guys focus on Letty, and you got it. I mean, there was no threat of a pass game whatsoever when he's in the game.
Yeah, for sure. And, that's something that I've harped on a lot, is the difference between Jared Dagey and Garrett Green. And what a lot of people don't realize is, Letty Brown really is a north-south runner. And when you have a north-south runner and then you bring in an east and west quarterback, which that's more what Green is,
right?
You really have some conflicting ideas with the way you run the ball. And that's a big reason why I think we haven't seen Green in for any more than he has, is because it takes that north-south running away. And I think that's what Neil Brown likes. But at the end of the day, I think splashing him in is the perfect way to do it. I think they need to just do it just a little bit more. Maybe line him up in the backfield, go 2 quarterbacks on the field, and do some trickery that way. We haven't seen that yet.
I thought the same thing. I wondered why he hasn't went that route. We could even run. I mean, talk about a wildcat formation. I mean, that's basically what you got with him in the game anyway.
Yeah.
Put Daggy in there with him, man. You could run all kinds of stuff. Got a question here. Jim Hamrick says, "What is the score?" It's 20-17 West Virginia at halftime, Jim.
And
we've left 8 points on the board.
Yeah, and it's in my eyes, it's not even a close 2017. It should be probably 28-17.
Right. West Virginia's moving the ball with ease, pretty much. They've had to settle for field goals a couple times that they should have scored touchdowns. One I felt was bad play calling, and one they just didn't execute.
Yeah, that first drive, they settled for a field goal. That should have been a touchdown. I mean, you gotta. I don't know. I don't know what happened to the play call in there. I didn't care for it. There's a pass right over the middle on, I think, 3rd and 6 or something, and it was ridiculous.
Duke Silver Surfer 81, which is, Sam, you probably remember Virgil Kennedy, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What's up,
Virgil? Let's see Crowder.
You know what? I think Crowder is going to be great, but I just don't think he's ready. I really don't. What scares me about Goose is, you get into next year when Nico comes in. I'm hoping that Crowder gets a fair shake. I hope that he's not a portal transfer just because Nico comes in, because I think he's got some intangibles that you've seen in the little bit he's got to play. To be honest, I would love to see him get in a little bit myself, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree. Well, only thing I see is maybe the last 4 games of the season. If the game's out of hand, or if somebody gets hurt, that way he can keep his red shirt. Because Neil Brown the other day in his press conference said, he plays the reserves a lot during the bye, and he said Goose has made tremendous improvement and is looking really good right now. So I'm hoping that's a good sign. I'll be honest, I'd kind of like to see him win a job next year. I know everybody wants Nico coming in. I wouldn't feel comfortable having a true freshman as my quarterback. I don't care how good he is.
Well, and in my head, if he comes in and he's more like Caleb Williams than Spencer Rattler, I'm all for it. But
right.
If, what I mean. I don't want to compare him to Spencer's attitude, but just playability. Caleb Williams is a phenomenal athlete out of Oklahoma. I mean, he's changed the way that team's playing. If he comes in and he's that kind of kid, then I'm all for it. But if he's not, Daggy's still got 1 more year. I think he'll have to portal out. I don't think he'll have a chance next year with Green and Crowder. I mean, because Green and Crowder's not going to keep waiting. So who would you rather lose, Daggy or those two? And I think that's what it's going to come down to. But I'd love to see Green get a full quarter to himself, and I would love to see Crowder get a full quarter to himself, just so we can see what we actually have.
Right. Yeah, me too. I just don't want it to come at the expense of a win. You know what I mean?
and at this point, we can't afford that.
Exactly. I mean, we every game from here on out is basically a must win at this point. So,
for sure.
Unless we get to the end of the year and we're 6-4 or whatever, 6 and whatever it is, 6-5.
Yeah, for me, this game, I mean, they're all must wins, but this game really is a must win because it's going to set the pace for the second half of the season.
Exactly.
If we drop, if we drop today, you might as well bench Daggy, put Green in, and don't look back. I mean, honestly,
I agree with you.
because the chances of us making a bowl game are going to be really slim with what our schedule looks like. Everybody's playing good. Everybody's beating everybody. You never know what team you're going to get week in, week out. And, I just don't see us faring very well in the second half of the season if we can't find a way to win today.
I agree. And Brandon says, I just want to see Green in a series where he throws and not run. I agree. But every time he throws the ball, I cringe because I'm afraid he's going to screw up.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, that's where, I almost wish college football had almost a JV type structure, maybe a 7-on-7 JV structure where we could actually see how these kids are developing, because we may be, put them in, and there may be some intangible things that the coach knows that we don't.
Right.
And if we had a way to see that, it would be a little bit different.
I agree. It would probably keep the fan chatter down a little bit.
Yeah. No more knee jerking.
Exactly. Which is, I'm guilty of it too. I do it. We all do it, I guess, if we're fans. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just the second half, I hope if we can just slow down. I mean, I feel like we've done a pretty decent job slowing down the running game, considering how good their running game is. So
yeah, I mean, if we cashed in touchdowns instead of field goals, I mean, we would be more upbeat than we are. I mean, honestly, but it's just, that's what we're looking at, is not being able to finish drives, and that as a fan, as somebody that's coached and stuff, that pisses me off. I mean, you got to finish those drives.
I agree, man. Especially when you're, like the announcers keep saying, when you're facing an offense as good as TCU, you cannot leave points on the board.
Exactly.
And those are the kind of things that can come back and bite you at the end of a game, where it shouldn't take it. You might have to have a last-second field goal when you shouldn't have gotten to that point in the first place. Snow Lord 1999 says, I truly believe WVU might win this by a last-second field goal. Well, Snow Lord, I would take that.
I'll take it. Yeah.
As long as it's a W, man.
My prediction was a couple touchdowns. So
right. But they do, you know what? They do need to learn how to win some close games, because they've struggled with that.
Well, and that's Neil Brown in a nutshell. And that's why, like, I can't get down on Neil Brown. The only time he's been blown out since he's been at WVU was against Baylor. He coaches to keep you in the ball game and give you an opportunity to win. And that's what we have to remember. Like, that's the kind of coach we have, is he's never going to coach us into a pickle. And we just have to learn to win those games. We have to have the players that have the leadership ability to lead the team to victory. And we really don't have that yet. We don't have that vocal leader that does that for us yet.
Right. I agree with you. I agree totally. See, Duke Silver Surfer says, I'm bummed Deggy has another year. I thought he was done. He's been here for forever. I know. It's that super senior rule because he's got that extra year because of COVID is why. Were it not for that, he wouldn't have it. So, as far as I know, he'll be graduated and have his master's. So I look for him. If he don't, I look for him to transfer or just go on with his life, because surely to goodness by now the guy knows he ain't going to play in the NFL. You know what I mean? But then again, Austin Kendall can't play. He's still playing, so. But at a different school. So who knows? These guys, they love the game. I guess they don't want to give it up. But I just hope – I'm afraid if he stays, it's going to cause too much controversy. I guess that's one of the biggest things that worries me.
Well, and that's the one gripe I've really had about Neil Brown is, he's loyal to a fault to Jarrett Dagey. And while I appreciate that, with this super senior rule and the extra COVID year of enrollment and stuff, it really sets us up to where if he's that loyal and he comes back next year, are we going to be going through this again next year?
Right.
And that's really not good for the program at all. It's just not.
I agree. Because they hear it. They hear the fan chatter, and Coach Brown said they do. He said they live on social media.
Yeah.
He said, I don't get on social media that much, but they do because that's their life. That's how they communicate. So they hear it and they see it. But, hopefully they let it. I think Jarrett Duggie said he doesn't get on it a whole lot, which is probably a good idea.
That's smart.
But if I am mistaken, Dana used to have a rule. I don't think he let his guys, or maybe it was Coach Huggins. Somebody used to have a rule that they wouldn't let their guys on social media. But
I think it might have been Dana, because I know Bob Bob had a kid transfer out after last year he got death threats on a basketball player last year.
That's right. It was
Emmett Matthews.
Emmett Matthews, yeah, man, that was terrible. Taz got him too.
Yeah,
but of course he stayed, but yeah, I know at one time Dana wouldn't let, but I don't know that you could police that really.
Well, with the image likeness stuff going on, it's impossible.
No, now it would be. Definitely.
But yeah, second half, I think, we're just get your heart pills out, get your blood pressure medicine, get your heart beat monitor out, and just see what happens.
Yeah. Duke Silver Surfer says Pat White Super Senior, all about it. Jared Daggy, well fudge.
Yeah.
That's perfect. That's perfect, man.
Yeah.
Poor old Jared, man. He's hard not to like. He's such a good dude, but he's just not. And he's just not a great quarterback.
It's crazy because it's so crazy to talk about him in this context too, because he leads the Big 12 in passing yards, and it's like, but see that's what's awesome about Jared Dagey at the same time, and Mountaineer Nation, is here we are complaining about a kid that's leading the conference in throwing yards. We want him benched for somebody that we haven't seen just because we don't want to be a mediocre team.
Right.
That's a good quality to have as a fan base.
It is good.
Because I've always said if I wanted to be a mediocre fan, I'd be a Virginia Tech fan. I mean, I've always said that.
I like it.
You can ask anybody. I've said that for years and years. If I wanted to live in the realm of mediocrity, I'll just root for Virginia Tech.
I like it. Got another comment here. Jim Hamrick says, I think Daggy would be a great backup QB for West Virginia, but Crowder should be the starter.
I mean,
maybe. I think Crowder's probably got more talent than Daggy, but I don't know that he's ready to run the offense yet. I think that one of the announcers used the term the academic side of the game. I don't know that he's there yet with that.
Yeah, when you're looking at freshmen, it's really hard to say. I mean, because, as hyped up as I am about Nico, you never know what you're going to get when he gets here.
Exactly.
But, I would like to see Garrett Green, like I said, for a quarter. I would like to see him for more than just a minute. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing that really bothers me is those splashes here and there. Just leave the kid in, let him run, let him pass, call the plays, and see what happens.
Right.
I don't think anybody'd get too mad if it went bad,
I agree.
Because then we'd know.
Yeah. By the way, guys, anybody on here that is not subscribed to Sam the Man is the host of the Mountaineer Effect. If you're not subscribed to his channel, go do so, please.
Thank you.
Snowlord 1999 says, problem with Daggy is he is not a Power 5 quarterback. In my opinion, he would be great at a school like Marshall, though, in my opinion. Well, he was at Bowling Green and did pretty well there, from my understanding. Started there as a freshman. But, Bowling Green's not – so Snowlord 99, I think majority of our fan base agrees with you on that for the most part. Well, he did some really good things. But then they had two good pass plays there in the first drive, or I think it was the first drive. One, the deep ball. But honestly, that was just a good play by the receiver to come back and make a play on it. He kind of left it short. And the other one was the pass to O'Laughlin. O'Laughlin about had to stretch his guts out to get it. So, I mean, he didn't make great throws on those balls. But he got them close enough they could make a play, which, that's part of his job. But it would be cool if – I was watching the Pitt game today, man. Kenny Pickett is the real deal.
He should be a Heisman Trophy candidate for real. Like I hate to praise Pitt, but they're one of the most exciting teams I've watched all year long.
They're fun, and I think how they lost to Western Michigan is beyond me because they're a good football. They're a good football team, really good.
But that's the thing with Daggy and the receivers too. Like something we've struggled with for the last few years is cases of the dropsies. And as a quarterback, when your guys are dropping the ball, you try to put a little extra on it, try to take a little extra off of it. And I think that's kind of played into the way that he plays now. So, that's kind of
probably has. Yeah.
That's a little bit of a part of it too.
Yeah, most of it, even the announcer said it's most of his problem is probably mental. He just don't trust what he sees and probably doesn't have enough confidence in himself. But listen, I think second half's getting ready to start. So if you want to shut this off,
yeah, guys, thanks for popping in, man. Me and Couz has been trying to hook up for a while, but I think we both stay so busy trying to get our podcast together, man. It's hard to hook up, but this has been a good time.
Our schedules, we both have day jobs, obviously, and then our schedules just don't seem to mesh. So I appreciate you hopping on here with me, Sam, man. It's been fun.
I appreciate you having me, man. We'll have to do it again.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Enjoy the second half.
All right, you too, man. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody, for hopping on.